I have a coupon guy, a mango guy, an egg guy, and a tamale guy. My friend's wife also makes artsy penises on commission, but I've never taken her up on it. People ask Reddit, what is the strangest thing you have a guy for? When I was a waiter in downtown Phoenix 20 years ago, I had a street person on retainer. Parking was difficult for lunch shift. Our restaurant wouldn't validate employees' parking, so we had to use the meters on the street. Since the meters had a 2-hour limit, you needed to park close enough to be able to run down and feed them in the middle of the lunch rush. Spaces were very limited. One day, soon after starting, I passed the same bum for the third night in a row panhandling. He wasn't at all vocal, just tried doing funny dances and making people smile, then he'd tell you to have a nice night. Never outright asked for anything and was never rude or aggressive. I gave him a couple bucks a few nights in a row, and started to notice him during the day too once we became familiar. The first time I saw him after pulling in for a lunch shift, I gave him a handful of change from my coin cup in the console and told him if he fed my meter with it all day I'd throw him some cash again after my shift. Found out then that his name was Mike. 2 hours later it's noon 30 and the crew is dashing down to feed their meters, or asking whomever is going down to do it for them. I gave someone a couple of quarters and asked them to check on mine while they were at it, just in case. They were back in 5 minutes reporting that my car was good, the hostess car was good, and 2 other servers bookending my car were good, all of us until after 2 p.m. Some homeless guy is feeding all the meters on this side of the block. The next day, as I was making my way around the gauntlet of one-way roads surrounding the building housing my restaurant, I saw Mike. He was standing in a parking space right by the bottom of the escalator leading to my work, and as soon as he saw my car, he pulled his pants leg up and did a little chorus live dance move to get my attention. He'd been standing there holding the spot for me for the past 15 minutes. Thus it began. Mike held a parking spot for me nearly every morning for the next 2 years. He fed my meter and the meter of any other staff I asked him to. I started keeping car cleaning stuff in my car, Windex, Armor All, and would give him towels from the restaurant to detail it up once a week. He knew what bar I hung out at and where I sat. He'd track me down when meters were about to expire or he needed a buck. Everybody at the restaurant and the bar across the street started calling him my bum. He was my friend though too. His name was Mike. He just didn't live anywhere because life is more complicated for some people. Everybody at the restaurant and but yeah, I had a guy once, a true downtown concierge. Reply? What happened to Mike? Answer: Mike and I stayed friends for years after I stopped working downtown. I wouldn't say we kept in touch, he didn't have a cell phone or any way to contact him, but I would still frequent my favorite bar occasionally and run into him on the corner and we'd catch up. Then one day he just wasn't there anymore. I asked around but pretty quickly found out I knew more about him than anyone else in the world seemed to. Mike was homeless because he had been a career criminal in his youth. He went to prison a couple times in the 80s for kiting checks at a felony level, an old scam you can't really get away with anymore. He was probably 20 to 30 years older than me at the time and had lived on the streets since the mid-90s, had no family, couldn't get hired anywhere with his record, and to be honest, didn't much care for the idea of having a job and a home. Some people simply won't be domesticated. Mike was that way. I have a coupon guy, a mango guy, an egg guy, and a tamale guy. My friend's wife also makes artsy penises on commission, but I've never taken her up on it. Reply: I'm sorry, I'm going to need a definition of makes artsy penises. Are we talking bedazzling my penis, paintings, lawn ornaments? I can absolutely see all of these being options, but the mind spins on the hilarity of all of them. And isn't a coupon guy just your newspaper delivery person? Answer: kind of, I'll update with pictures. She made vagina portraits and penis paintings, paintings with penises, metal sculptures with weirdly shaped dongs, and regular clay sculptures of dongs and decorative ones with like designs and tiger-colored dongs. I've got a pineapple guy. Gets me the good stuff, variously called the sugarloaf pineapple, white pineapple, Kona sugarloaf, Kona white, etc. It's a pineapple that is sweeter and, crucially, has significantly lower acidity, so it doesn't hurt your mouth or tongue if you eat too much of it. It's good to have a pineapple guy. Reply: fun fact, it's not the acid that hurts your mouth, It's an enzyme called bromelain that literally breaks down meat proteins. Your mouth hurts because the pineapple is literally digesting you as you're eating it. I always appreciate and respect any food that tries to eat me right back. I got a guy named Fat Tony who occasionally texts me about rare but cheap musical instruments. He's always trying to loop me in on his side hustle of finding instruments on eBay and repairing them for resale. One day I get a text that say, "Yo, Lazy Clock 7316, this is Fat Tony. I got a Hammond organ for you. $100. And that's how I got my organ. I still have no idea how he got my number or who he really is. We've never met in person. Fat Tony." I have a sloth guy. 3 separate family events over the last 15 years. I've called my guy and he's brought a sloth to the party. Edited to reassure people. He runs a USDA certified wild animal rescue and has his sloth for close to 20 years. He takes extraordinary care of all of his animals. The sloth is not a performing animal no one gets to approach, handle, or pet it. He simply brings it for a short period of time so that people can see it, and he discusses its life, behavior, and care. He does phenomenal work to protect and preserve wildlife. Many of his animals came to him after being purchased by people who wanted an exotic pet they quickly realized they could not care for. I have a mattress gal. She runs a high-end mattress shop and is supposed to dispose of any returned mattresses. I take care of disposal by showing up at the customer's place, bringing the disposal mattresses around to any friends or family in need of a mattress upgrade. I got a sweet $4,000 king bed for free and hauling it because it was a return. Reply. Ducking. Yes, I worked for a junk removal company for a couple years and we had a contract with some furniture companies in the area. If a rich person bought something but didn't like it, we were supposed to return it. But these places didn't actually want used pieces of furniture back, so we were supposed to put it in the dump. Well, we were already paid to pick it up, and putting things in the dump costs money, so if anybody asked if they could take this piece of furniture into their own house, the answer was always yes. Furnished my entire house and parts of friends' houses in my early 20s this way. I've got a clam guy. He gets fresh clams in the morning, then walks around town with a cooler on a cart and sells them door to door. I got him business cards for Christmas one year and he made me write Clam Master on them. He's a character. He does deliver door to door. He'll sometimes sell the majority of his haul to a seafood restaurant near me, but he'll usually hold back a few dozen for me. First time I met him probably 7 or 8 years ago, he was carrying clams in a 5-gallon bucket walking my block. He asked if I wanted to buy some clams and I said yes, and we've been friends ever since. He later started coming around with a big cooler on a cart and even had a moped with a tiny trailer for a little while. He doesn't deliver on demand, but he reliably comes by once or twice a week during clam season. Always fresh caught that morning. Thank you for listening to another B-Town Reddit Stories episode. Hit the subscribe button and check out our channel for more stories. Let us know your opinion about this topic in the comments.